We're getting some versus FNAF 2 hype up in here. Woo! Again, I love this mod. This is the sequel to versus FNAF 1. If you haven't seen that video, go check that out. Now, this soundtrack, to go right out of the gate, is not as strong as versus FNAF 1, at least in my opinion. Some of these songs are incredible and on par with the first game soundtrack, but I would say that the majority of the OST has at least a few problems per most of the songs. However, this is still a phenomenal soundtrack, and I'm very happy to get to talk about it because every single song is sung by a different character, or at least the majority of the songs are sung by a different character, giving this soundtrack a really unique vibe. Now, that being said, in this OST, there are two songs I'm not going to rank, and those are Flashing Lights and a cover of Challenge Ed, but FNAF 2 style. Now, I'm a little conflicted because originally I was going to rank Flashing Lights. However, I'm not going to for one key reason. This is a cover of a pre-existing song with just FNF vocals added to it, and that's kind of dishonest for me to say, oh, this song would be better than some of the others. I just don't like ranking covers alongside the original music, so I'm not ranking it. And the same goes for the Challenge Ed. However, I will give my thoughts real quick here. Flashing Lights is still cool, and the vocals are actually really nicely added, and the visuals are amazing. And I won't even lie, the Challenge Ed cover got me laughing the first time. That was hilarious, and it's executed really well. I'm just not going to rank them officially because I, again, feel that would be unfair. Now, let's not waste any time. I'm going to talk about this awesome mod. Let's get straight into it. Also, before we actually get started, one other thing. Penevi noticed my first video, which was really cool, and that's awesome. So if you notice this video, Penevi, I have one thing. Can you please add your music to like other platforms? Because your music is awesome, and I just want to keep listening to it. Like stuff like Amazon Music or Spotify and whatever. I don't know all of them. Those are just the two I know because those are the two I use. Anyway, no further delay. I just wanted to get that out there.
Why are we still here? Just to suffer?
And in dead last, we have the two songs that were not made by Penevi or Thunder. This was made by Pora SFM. And I get that in the description of the videos that he posted on his channel, they're joke songs, so I'm not supposed to take them seriously. I won't take them seriously. However, they are a part of the soundtrack. And this is not F tier, this is G tier. This is just painful. I hate these both. They're not funny. This has never been funny. In fact, I'm only talking about this. The only reason I'm not excluding this from the list at all is because I really feel like I want to talk about this. This isn't funny. This is not funny. This has never been funny. You can make a good FNF song with a hilarious concept. That is funny. But just putting a terrible instrumental on top of untuned vocals with just horrible mixing and then making fun of it all by just spamming the ever-living hell out of the ending. This is not funny. This joke has existed since FNF first started, and it was not funny back then. I would actually say that this is a joke that applied to older rhythm games, and it still wasn't funny back then, and it's not funny now. Not only has this joke been run into the ground a million times over, but it's just annoying. It's just stupid. There's nothing funny here. This is garbage. This is G tier. That is what G tier stands for. Garbage. Get out. I do not want to listen to this. If I had to rank one over the other, I would say welcome, only because it's slightly shorter, so my suffering lasts less time. End my suffering. I don't want to listen to this anymore. Get it off my screen.
When the place eventually opens again, I'll probably take a night shift myself.
And first up, we have Night Shift. I mean, this song is... it's actually not bad. This is surprisingly kind of a catchy song. At least some parts of it are catchy, but I'll get into that in a minute. My first big criticism is this doesn't really fit Withered Freddy. I mean, it's again, a pretty decent song, all things considered, but this doesn't really feel like a Withered Freddy song. If you were to apply this to a FNAF character, I would assume Toy Freddy fits more than this. And that being said, it doesn't really feel like a FNAF song, so its inclusion in the OST is a bit odd. And there are several parts of the song that feel very slow. The instrumental just kind of feels like it's lacking something. I don't know, it's alright, but there's just something missing from this song. This more feels like a prototype song than a final version. It's alright, but I'm also pretty sure that this is a song that was originally in Versus Withered Freddy that got remade. And all I can remember from that mod was that the 3 songs that were in that mod were kind of underwhelming. So, I mean, this is better than the old version, I guess. I don't know, decent song, just not really my favorite. Feels kind of out of place.
Mr. Hubs got me again.
Now this is a funny FNF song. It's a reference to Ultimate Custom Night with how Toy Freddy's mechanic was in that game. And I'm gonna be honest, this is just a hilarious concept. It's great. And I'll admit, some parts of the song are actually kind of nice. The little vacuum schematic is not only amusing, but it actually doesn't sound half bad. It's not a great chromatic given the fact it's a vacuum cleaner. But you know what? It's not bad, and it could have been way worse. Pacing is fine. I think some parts of this rely a little bit too heavy on, well, I don't want to call it spam, because this doesn't feel like spam to me. This just more feels like chaotic note patterns. Some parts of the song follow a good melody, but the rest of the song is just kind of sporadic. It's a funny song, and it does its job very well, but as a melody, there's nothing really here. Although I will be saying this, the ending makes me laugh every time. Riddle me this. So far we've gone through 2 of Thunder's songs. Nothing from Penavi yet. Something Penavi made in this mod is below the standard in my opinion. Now what song am I talking about? I'm talking about Broken Jaws. Yikes. Okay. And I know some people like this song. I get it. This song is actually pretty catchy. So let me go over my positives as I usually do. I like Withered Chica's chromatic. It fits her really well and it sounds kind of nice. Reminds me somewhat of an elephant though, which is kind of amusing, I won't even lie. The theme of this song isn't scares or intense, it's trying to be uncanny, kind of like how Withered Chica is in the game. I don't feel like you realistically can make an uncanny song while also making it sound nice. That is an extremely difficult task, and I don't think that this song captured uncanny to me. It's a decent song still, but there's a reason it's ranking this low, and it's the ending. Okay, so we're getting into the highest and most intense, if you will, part of the melody. It's just popping off right up at the end. And you're thinking, Okay, how's it gonna end? When are we gonna get that wind down? No, there is no wind down. It just stops abruptly. If that's supposed to add to the uncanny valley type of feel the song was going for, I mean, I guess I see what you were going for, but this just doesn't work for me. In fact, this ending is what killed this song for me. Because originally I had it ranked higher because I thought it had some pretty good catchy parts. But this ending just frustrates me. Because it just leaves you hanging for like a good 8 seconds. There's nothing to fill that void. It just stops. You can't just give the most intense part of the song and then cut it off like as if someone just unplugged the internet router.
When you can see, how fast can you flee?
I feel horrible for ranking a Foxy song this low, but hear me out. For one, I like this song. Now let me criticize it so that way I can praise it afterwards. I don't like that Foxy's chromatic is just reused from FNAF 1. It's a good chromatic, don't get me wrong, but when every other character has a new chromatic and Foxy doesn't, it just doesn't feel right. And my other big criticism would be that I feel like some parts of this song are a little bit lacking. I don't know, some of this just feels sort of generic to me. Yeah, the chromatic is definitely the biggest problem though, because the rest of the song I've got some praises for. I love the opening, it feels nice, dark, and intense. Great. The chase bit actually sounds alright. And then Boyfriend finds himself backed into a corner. And two things. One, I can hear Let Me Through from CG5 playing in the melody of Foxy and Boyfriend's notes. That's incredible. I love that song, so that reference was very much appreciated. And two, the Pirate Adventure theme is back! Woo! I love that melody from Pirate Adventure, so hearing it again in this song was so nice. I adored it. And then right after the Pirate Adventure reference is over, this corner bit is... I mean, it's alright. And then final chase bit is back. It actually sounds kind of nice. I think it could have used maybe some stronger melody here, but it works. Because then... Is that a JoJo reference? That is cool! I have literally never seen anything JoJo related in my life, and I still know this theme, and I still knew the reference. I like this song, but I feel like it has too many weak points for me to really love it. And here we have Balloon Boy's song. I'll be the first to say it, I am a defender of Balloon Boy. I think his mechanic is very interesting in FNAF 2, and without him, the game just would probably be way more boring. I think he's a great addition to the game, and I like his design, and I think everybody else that calls him annoying, y'all just have a skill issue. That's just how I feel about Balloon Boy. And this song captures Balloon Boy pretty well. Now, I get it. I might be called a complete hypocrite for what I'm gonna say. Because I know some people are probably already gonna be typing, "Hey, wait a minute, you don't like it when songs have a bunch of notes, but Helium has a huge amount of note spam." Yes, it does. Here's why I think this works. They don't throw away the chromatic, which sounds incredible. The pacing works, and this fits Balloon Boy so well. It's chaotic. And the instrumental sounds great here. So everything works. What could have been an annoying part works because they got all the fundamentals right. The instrumental is popping off just as much as it needs to. The chromatic sounds really nice with a bunch of notes. And the pacing built up to this big part really well. Chromatics are good, instrumental is good, pacing is good, beat is good. It fits Balloon Boy. What can I say? Good song. And look at that, here we got another one of those giant endgame songs. This mod has 3 of those, by the way. We'll get into the other 2 later, but for right now, let's focus on, in my opinion, the worst of the 3, Eternal Playdate. I guess I gotta go phase by phase, so here we go. The first phase takes a bit too long to get started. Like, I feel like we're just staring at Boyfriend for a good minute. It's obviously not that long. More like 20 seconds, but still a bit long for us to just keep waiting. Although that being said, the instrumental starts popping off, and that's great. Toy Freddy sounds a little bit goofy, but the overall melody here is very nice and catchy. It's simple, but it's effective. And then, after this phase is over, Toy Freddy is now on our side. And here's where it gets intense, because then Toy Bonnie shows up, looking all corrupted. And I like this phase. This phase is really nice. Toy Bonnie's chromatic sounds pretty good here, especially when Shadow Bonnie starts... Oh, speaking of which, that part where Shadow Bonnie just comes up, that part sounds awesome. It is probably my favorite part of this entire song. It sounds so good. And, well, I think the amount of notes being used is actually good. It doesn't feel overwhelming to the point where the music just sounds like noise rather than a strong melody. It's good. There's enough back and forth here for the melody to stand strong. The instrumental sounds good. The mixing of Toy Bonnie and Shadow Bonnie's vocals, it sounds great. I have no complaints. Toy Chica then shows up. This is the weakest part of the song for me. This is where the entire song kind of tanks, and this is where my biggest problem arises. I like how I was just saying with Toy Bonnie, that it doesn't feel like there's too many notes being played, and it just turns into noise, but then Toy Chico goes ahead and just forgets what I just said, and it feels like there's more notes than melody. That's the biggest problem with the song, because that happens more than once. That being said, this part still has some slower bits, which is good, but I don't feel like any of these little slow parts have enough of a strong melody for me to love the phase as a whole. There's a decent part, but the majority of this phase is just kind of okay. And then we get into Mangle's phase. Now, this being the last phase, I'm expecting it to be really cool, right? I mean, Mangle still sounds great. Trust me, I'll talk about Mangle a little bit more later. Toy Freddy and Boyfriend, they sound alright. And I swear, I can hear a reference to the Mangle song. I hear it. I don't know if I'm losing my mind because nobody else has ever pointed that out, but I swear I can hear it. Penavy, if you watch this, please tell me if I'm right or wrong. If I'm wrong, then I'm looking too far in, but I can hear it at more than one point. And even if I'm wrong, it still sounds cool. There's a nice bit of intensity here, and the wind down works. I don't hate this song. It's pretty good. And the ending with the puppet showing up last second, that's kind of cool too. I just feel like there's more notes than melodies at several points of the song, and that's what makes it weak for me. And here we have Shadows. Alright, let me go ahead and get the elephant in the room out of the way. I understand this is basically just a cover of the Shadow Bonnie music box, whatever you want to call it. I get it. In my defense, this is more of a remix than just a full-on cover. I'm pretty certain that the instrumental is a remix. I might be wrong about that, but I don't think I am, given the fact that this was worked on by Thunder 92. I'm gonna go with that it's just a remix, less of a cover. And this is a phenomenal remix, if so. Shadow Bonnie's vocals are so good in this entire mod. They sound incredible. Like, they might just be my favorite set of chromatics in the mod. That's how good they sound. And the way the notes just bounce to the beat is visually super cool to look at. And again, the beat is great, like, I can't hate on it. However, I do have a little bit of a criticism. I don't feel like I should rank it any higher, similarly to how I felt about Walk the Plank from vs. FNAF 1. That being said, the ending is super good. The way Boyfriend and Shadow Bonnie sound during this entire end sequence is just awesome. Even if it drags out for a little long, it's great. At the end of the day, yeah, it's a remix of a pre-existing song, but it's done so well. Oh boy. Golden Vengeance. Alright. It's a 6-minute song against Withered Golden Freddy with the puppet at our side. Kinda like in The Happiest Day. Okay. So, where do I start? Where do I start with a 6-minute song with one opponent? You know what? I'll just go ahead and start with my praises. The use of other FNAF melodies is kind of cool, especially the ending with It's Been So Long being used. That sounds incredible. There's a lot of references in this song in particular, so I can't really cover them all, but I just really wanted to cover the It's Been So Long one because that's easily the best reference part of this song. And now I have to talk about my criticisms, what also has to do with the references. This song, well, for one, it's just too long. I mean, I get it, you had to make a big final song, but also, I really don't feel like this song had to be 6 minutes. That's just a bit much, especially when you're only dealing with one opponent. So the song never really changes scenery or anything. There are some points in the song where the tone gets separated, so I guess you can classify those as the different phases, but even then, that's not really definitive. And, well, besides the long time, alright, my biggest criticism for this song, it feels like it's relying too much on familiar melodies. This entire song makes me think, oh, there's that reference, oh, there's that reference, alright, here's another reference, and this is an original part of the song, I think, or is it also a reference? And that's the big problem when you use too many references for just one song. It makes it feel like the whole song is just kind of mishmashed of different references, and those are gonna overshadow the original parts of the song. I think some of the references here do a pretty decent job. Here's what I would have done with this song. Make the first of all, maybe cut it down to 4 minutes. I feel like that's more reasonable for a final battle than 6 minutes. If you wanted to make it a little bit longer, then maybe 5 minutes, but in my opinion, I think 4 minutes would have been the right balance here. Here's the other thing I would have done. I would have only used maybe, let's say for generosity's sake, a maximum of 5 references to take the leading part of a song. In fact, again, the ending with "It's Been So Long," that is perfectly used. And I think the little bit where the puppet is kind of slowing down the song, that sounds great. That is a good reference to the puppet song. Good there. And then if you wanted to, you could maybe include one more little reference in either the instrumental or the vocals during the beginning minute or 2 of the song. That would have been good. And then you could have thrown in another reference specifically in the instrumental more than anything else. Because again, some of the references in the song work, and some of them just feel like they're there for the sake of being there. It's just too many. I think this song also suffers the same fate as Pirate's Curse with Golden Freddy's voice not being different from the first mod, which is a bit of a shame, because I think they definitely could have made his voice sound a little cooler if they put maybe another metallic effect over it of some kind. Not that Golden Freddy's vocals are bad in the song, they're great. But you know, it's like, could have changed it up just a bit. And my final big praise is that I do feel like Boyfriend and the Puppet's vocals still sound amazing together. I'm really glad they didn't change the Puppet's voice. And instrumental, that sounds good. I like the instrumental.
Like I said, there's a lot that I love about this song. It's very climactic and has a great final battle feel to it. And some of the references are incredible, like the Happiest Day reference, the It's Been So Long reference, and the Puppet Song reference. These are the 3 best references of this song. But then there's just so many more, and they just kind of feel like they're there for the sake of making the song longer and just appealing to the FNAF fan in me. And it's like, I feel like this song is just, there could have been more done with it.
Time to face the consequences of your behavior.
Wow, Faceless is good! I love Withered Bonnie's chromatic, how it sounds like a broken electric guitar. That is cool. Because Bonnie's no longer playing the guitar, he is the guitar. The pacing of this song really works for me. The instrumental is very nice. And although I don't have much to say on it, whoa. Look, the Shut the Door reference is just beautiful. It's so good. I love how all of these withered animatronics, they get their own little bit where the camera switches to an iconic image from the original FNAF 2. That's so... oh, it's just so well done. How can I not love this song? It's just straight up a bop. It's so good. Enigma is 100 times better than Backrooms because this sounds like a fully focused song. First of all, I love that Shadow Freddy gets to actually say the Freddy Fazbear line. It's a nice homage to the Fazbear in vs. FNAF 1. That's pretty cool. And this back and forth between Boyfriend and Shadow Freddy sounds really nice. If I had to criticize something right off the bat, though, I think Shadow Freddy sounds way too quiet, and there are several points in this song where it's a little hard to hear him over the rest. But you know what? This is still a catchy beat, even if Shadow Freddy sounds a bit quiet. And then Shadow Bonnie shows up. That's cool. And the song is just... Oh, when Shadow Bonnie joins, the song goes from good to great. I love it. There's a couple of nice little references here and there. And this is overall just a very solid song. I do feel like it's not nearly as good as some of the others, but that's not necessarily a fault of the song and more just a praise to how good the rest of this OST is. Your Old Friends, the last of the three giant songs, and in my opinion, the best one. This one works for me where the other two flop because, let me go ahead and say it now, this song does not ever feel like it revolves around chaotic note patterns and actually focuses on the melodies for every single part, while also having an extremely, gameplay-wise, difficult ending with Withered Freddy. But let's not get ahead of ourselves, let's talk about each phase one by one, or me. Withered Bonnie's part sounds good. It's the weakest part of the song, but I'm glad that the first phase is the weakest part, because this is still a decent phase, but also making it the weakest one just lets the song progress and get better and better as it goes. So, good. This first phase works for me. It's catchy. Maybe could have used with a stronger Shut the Door reference, but then again, that's just because I adore that melody. And then Withered Chica! Her vocals sound really good in this part as well, and the Broken Jaws reference works for me. It's good placement. And this song has an incredible build-up straight to phase 3, but I'll get there when I get there. This song, or at least this phase, starts kind of winding it down and then bringing it back up from Withered Bonnie, which is good. It's a very smooth transition and works beautifully. And the instrumental pops off during this part really well. And hey, this phase has a good conclusion. And then the moment Withered Foxy's section starts, all the instrumental is just beautiful. Yes, he still has the same vocals, so that's obviously going to be a bit of a weakness. But I really like this part. I feel like his vocals don't stand out to me as much as in Pirate's Curse. They sound a lot more in tune for this one. That, and since Withered Bonnie, Withered Chica, and Withered Freddy are all here, his vocals are not a huge highlight. So it works. And the reuse of Pirate's Curse and I think Lost at Sea, they work really well here. And the instrumental, as I said, is just beautiful in this bit. And then Penevi takes a backstage as Withered Freddy gets to finish it. I love that Withered Freddy gets to have this spotlight. Freddy kind of got the unfortunate treatment in the first mod with only getting 2 songs and kind of being sidelined. So Withered Freddy feels like he's taken back that spotlight properly. And I adore Withered Freddy's vocals. I'll talk more about that when I get to Fallen Star, but Thunder does this amazingly. And the instrumental sounds good. It's just... And the visual... I cannot get over how incredible the visuals are for this part. It's so good. And the ending is incredibly intense without it feeling like chaos notes. Great! This song does everything that I want it to. To the point where my biggest criticisms are just Withered Foxy's vocals are still the same. Withered Bonnie maybe could have used a stronger reference or two. That's it. That's my biggest criticism for the song. It's still so good and easily surpasses the other 2 giant songs.
You won't get tired of dying, will you?
Pecking order took a little bit of time for me to warm up to, but my gosh, is it good? Yes, it's good. Have you heard this song? It's similar to Promotion in a sense. Also, we're gonna ignore that chicken bit. Anyway, as I was saying, it's similar to Promotion in a way. The first phase is kind of just chill, it's a vibe. Bop just hanging out with the opponent, and then the second phase goes crazy. This first half, it sounds so good. The instrumental is just really nice. Toy Chica, even though I think her vocals sound a little bit too deep, I still love how they sound. They're great. The melody is very nice. The back and forths are all good. The pacing is strong. And then Balloon Boy shows up. I like this transition. Not only is it actually kind of a funny way to transition from phase 1 to phase 2, but phase 2, my gosh, is it good! Toy Chica's chromatic completely changes up here and it sounds so much better. Like, I adore the way she sounds in phase 2. They gave a nice robotic filter to her voice, and the pacing here is great. The instrumental, I already liked it in the first phase, but the second phase just does it for me. It's so good! And the ending is incredible. I don't really know why this one took so long for me to warm up to, because it's just so good! Love this song.
Time for one of my patented jingles.
This first song goes so unnecessarily hard for the first song of the mod. I love the way Toy Freddy sounds. It's a goofy chromatic, but that fits him. I've always seen Toy Freddy as just a big old goofy animatronic, and I love him for it. And that was only cemented into with Ultimate Custom Night. But yeah, I love the way he sounds, the pacing's good, and oh, that 5 Long Nights melody is beautiful! It's really nice that that melody in particular gets used mostly in association with Toy Freddy for this mod. Man, do I love it. The instrumental is also really nice. It gives off a great party theme. And the pacing? Yeah, it's good. The good music reference comes in right when it needs to, and then the build-up is good, and that ending, it sounds good. I don't feel like this song ever gets repetitive, which is always a plus. I get that the criticism for this song is Toy Freddy sounds too meh, doesn't sound very good. I do not care. He sounds great to me.
I'm friends with everyone.
Chance, and now it's finally here.
Penevi, you did not need to make Toy Bonnie's song of all characters go this hard. This song is, oh, it's easily the most underrated song in the mod. This one does not get nearly the amount of appreciation it deserves, because it is so good. This melody is perfection. It fits Toy Bonnie so well and is just super catchy to listen to on repeat. And I like how we get just enough time with Toy Bonnie so it almost feels like its own little song, but then the transition to Shadow Bonnie, that's incredible. Oh, it's so cool. Apparently the reason Shadow Bonnie is here controlling Toy Bonnie is because it was an old theory back in FNAF 2, which I think I actually remember too. That's crazy. Oh, that's some good old FNAF nostalgia, isn't it? Also, because I'm gonna be that guy, there's a Cycles reference in this part, and that is... Oh, I mean, it's so... I wasn't expecting it, but like... Wow, does that go hard. I kind of wish Shadow Bonnie's vocals were actually louder during that part, because I missed it the first few times. It wasn't until I read a comment that I was like, wait, really? And now I can't unhear it, but I wish that his vocals were a little louder, because I would have loved to catch that on my first listen. And then the transition back to Toy Bonnie at the very end of the song. That ending it's just such a pop-off. Toy Bonnie's chromatic? It sounds so silly, but so fitting for him. I really wish this song got more love because it is criminally underrated.
Welcome to the Fazbear family, where you'll never be alone again.
Out of everything Thunder 92 made for this mod, Fallen Star is easily the best song. This instrumental is phenomenal. It is so well done, it blows my mind. And Withered Freddy's vocals, his chromatic, how did they make a chromatic this good? How is the pacing of this song so perfect? The references are all done really well. And poor SFM did not need to make Withered Freddy look this intimidating in every single one of his poses. Oh, it's great. And I absolutely love the way Boyfriend sounds here. It's a bit different from the way Penalty's chromatic sounds for him, but I like it. It's a little jarring the first time you hear it when you're playing through this mod, but you know what? I don't care. It's still great. And again, I cannot get over Withered Freddy's chromatic and the way it just slides through the song. Beautiful. Straight up beautiful. And I like how Boyfriend actually gets to be in this camera shot with Withered Freddy during the second part of the song. And as for the third part of the song, when you jump into the office, that's just awesome. That is so cool. This whole song is just so cool. I've run out of things to praise. I have no complaints. This song is just straight up a bop.
I wanted to wait until just the right moment to drop in.
I feel like almost everyone that's ever talked about Versus FNAF 2 collectively agrees that Cerberus is either the best song or one of the best songs. I am in that camp all the way because this song goes so unbelievably... It's just I don't know what word to use. Good is underappreciating. Perfect doesn't feel like enough. It's just... Okay, one thing at a time. Mangle's voice, you would not expect to make a good chromatic. Penavi made it incredible. And this instrumental kind of gives me Mortal Kombat vibes, and I barely know anything about Mortal Kombat. That's hilarious. The pacing of this song is incredibly good. I do not feel like there's a single thing wrong with this song. It is just that good. Even Mangle's model picks, it's just all so good. And then she comes down and gets all up and close, and this middle phase just... It's an entire build-up phase. And it sounds so good. The back and forth especially sounds incredible. And then Boyfriend just has had enough, and he straight up throws his whole mic at her face. That made me die laughter the first time. Why has this mod actually got a good sense of humor when you don't look at its two trash songs? And that third part, oh, the visuals are incredible. What can I say that hasn't already been said? It's so good. I'm at a legit loss for words. I have not been this at a loss for words when talking about a song since Starman Slaughter and Unbeatable. Like, it's just that good. I love it. And that was Versus FNAF 2. Like I said, I love this mod. And although, again, soundtrack's a little bit weaker than the first, there are good moments of this mod just stand out even more than the original mod. Or at least on the same level. I adore this mod. I love its soundtrack. What's not to love? It's just a great mod. And here's my tier list. Yep. There it is. And now, well, I'm not gonna get to ranking versus FNAF 3 immediately. There's another mod I'm gonna cover, just so that way there's something in between. Okay. I have thoughts on versus FNAF 3. And, well, you'll just have to wait and see. Hope you guys all have a great rest of your day. I'll see you guys in the next one. God bless. Bye.